Hey guys, Dwayne here. Today I want to talk a little bit about moving on with your life and actually taking proactive steps to help you recover from this and regain part of who you used to be, get that back. One of the first things that you need to think about is don't allow yourself to get stuck, right? It's real easy in the midst of this to just kind of get stuck in this feedback loop where you are constantly thinking about what you've lost, thinking about the situation you're in, thinking about what your ex has done to you, thinking about what the system has done to you. And it really doesn't serve any purpose other than to keep you stuck in that mindset and thoughts and behaviors, and it doesn't really do anything for you. You have to keep yourself moving forward. Even if it's just little baby steps, even if it's small little movements, you got to keep moving forward. One thing I've noticed, if you view some of the different forums about narcissistic abuse and recovery, one thing I've noticed, and you probably have as well, is a lot of people are just saying the same things over and over again and not really moving forward. One of the things I really appreciate about you guys is it seems like granted there are some folks who are going through, we're all going through issues, right? But I really appreciate the fact that most of the conversations that we're having are really positive. They're really focused on how to deal with the current situation and moving forward and moving out of it and how to deal with it, which I think that's really the key of this, right? We could all sit around and say to each other, that's so sad that happened to you. That's just wrong. It should have never happened. That is true. But what does that do for you, right? What does it do for me? It really doesn't, other than it gets you stuck in that perpetual loop of thinking and not planning, but basically just stuck in this stage of the process that, at some point you do need to do that, but it doesn't necessarily do you any good. We need to be thinking about the long-term future seems like it's a long ways away, but be focused on what you want or what you're looking for in that long-term plan, right? If you're like, okay, in 5 years, I want to be completely over this, or 3 years, or whatever the time frame is. Pick a time frame and say, this is where I want to be. And then start taking steps to inch you closer to that. Every little step gets you a little bit closer, right? Recognize that it's not going to happen overnight. And so that way I know for me, I used to get really frustrated because I was like, this is taking forever. And I've talked about that before. So keep moving forward is really critical in this, and that moving forward can just be getting through the next moment or to the next day, whatever you have to do to hit that next tiny milestone. Now the other thing, you can't allow setbacks to defeat you. Right? And what I mean by that is if you do something wrong or you have an interaction that might not be the way you wanted it to go, don't wallow is not the right word. Don't allow yourself to beat yourself up over and over again because you made a mistake. Okay? We all make mistakes. I've made mistakes. You've made mistakes. I'm going to make more mistakes. We're all going to, we're all flawed. We're all flawed human beings, so we all are going to make mistakes. So when you do, recognize that you did make a mistake, analyze maybe what you did wrong and what you could have done differently, and then move on from it. Release it and let it go. The next thing, and this rolls into it, is you have to give yourself some breathing room on this, because recovery from this is a long, complicated process. And if you're fortunate enough to where you don't have kids, you don't have ties, you can get through that initial stage and be done with it. If you have some type of tie that keeps the connection going, either financially or through children, then you're in it for the long haul. That doesn't mean that you can't recover from it, and that doesn't mean you can't grow and get the life you want back. Yeah, okay, maybe this person is still going to always have a little place in your life that you're not going to be able to get rid of, but you can manage that and you can deal with that. So to help you as you're going through this, you have to focus on the little improvements. Now, what I'll tell you is I had issues with this because those little improvements seemed really little. And when you're in the middle of it, I don't know if you can hear the plane. I'm near a flight line, so it gets kind of noisy sometimes. It's hard sometimes to see the little improvements that you're going through because it's right in your face. And, that's why the journal thing is sometimes that's important, or not sometimes, it is important, some way to help you validate the improvements that you have made. So, and that's what you need to do. You need to look at it whenever you're feeling really down, is ask yourself, well, how has this improved? What has changed? Has it changed? And, you might default to thinking that nothing has changed. But I encourage you to take a deeper look at that, and you'll probably see and you'll probably notice that you have changed and things have gotten just a little bit better. And you gotta hang on to that, because those little improvements, they add up, right? I mean, it's like anything that you do in life that takes time to work at, whether that's losing weight, whether that's getting back in shape, maybe it's saving money, paying bills down, whatever it is, it takes time. And you can't defeat yourself and say it's going to take too much time and you don't see the results. You have to trust that those results are happening, and whenever when you can look and you can see that it's happening, it'll help give you strength to get to the next part or the next phase. And the last thing I really want to talk about is you have to slow yourself down. You have to, when these things are coming at you and you're getting overwhelmed, you have to take a breath, take a step back, try to keep things in perspective, recognize where you've come from, how far you've gotten, and where you're continuing to go, and stay focused on that. So that's what I'm going to wrap this up with. If you have some comments to talk to where you can share with how you have been able to start moving on with your life, even if it's just minor little things, but something significant for you that has allowed you to feel some personal victory with what you're doing, share that in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like this channel, please subscribe. And if you know anybody who could also benefit from this, please share it on your social media accounts. And I will talk to you guys on the next video. So take care. Bye.